Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Brew with Memli. In this video, I'm going to show you how we are brewing with the April Brewer. I'm also going to show you how we are brewing our new Guatemala El Panal washed coffee in order to extract the most clarity, cleanliness, and fruitiness out of this coffee. If you like the more traditional, nutty, chocolatey that this coffee offers, stick to the classic recipe. But if you want to get a little bit of fruitiness, especially the apricot that can be extracted in this delicious coffee, stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to do it with the April Brewer. The recipe I'm going to use is a 1:15 ratio, a little bit more intense than a 1:16 ratio that I use on cone shape. That is to highlight and intensify a little bit more our coffee to get more those fruitier and brighter notes in this Guatemalan coffee. I'm going to do 3 equal pours of about 75 grams each. And I'm using 15 grams of coffee for 225 grams of water at 92 degrees. My grind size is medium. I'm on a 9 on a Ditting Sweet Lab. That's equivalent to about 29-30 clicks on the new Commandante and 20 to 22 on your Baratza. All right, 15 grams, perfect. As I'm brewing, I'm going to explain also about this coffee. So the first pour will be our 75 gram pour, and try to pour a little bit more, a little bit slower. Try to be more gentle with this coffee. This is a light roasted coffee, very unique for Guatemala. I often roast Guatemala, a little bit longer than usual, but this coffee, El Panal, goes at a high elevation. It's quite dense, also has a humidity of 11.7, 11.8. I'm not sure if this information is useful, but as a roaster, it is. And it's grown by the famous Jorge Mendez. Second pour at 40 seconds. Still quite slow, quite gentle, not too aggressive. And so this coffee is a mix of Caturra, Pash, Bourbon, washed. This coffee from El Panal has a unique story because the producer, Jorge, has been a picker first before saving up to buy his own land and grow his own coffee. At 1 minute and 20 seconds, my last pour until 225. And so I roasted this coffee a couple of times before deciding to settle for a profile. First, I always roasted on the sort of 68-70 Actron scale, which is a medium light. And that's equivalent to like 1:45 to 2 minutes of development time. And I wasn't happy with the results until I decided to take it a little bit lighter. Just 3 points on Actron to a 73, 74. And that's equivalent to 1 minute and 40 seconds of development time instead of 2 minutes. For espresso, I go to 2 minutes, but for my filter coffee, I basically roasted this coffee like a Rwandan or Burundi coffee, right? Where it's not like high and short like Kenya's or Ethiopia's, but it's not as long as Guatemalan or Colombian coffee, for example. So somewhere in between. And I like using the April Brewer to get more that clarity. Of course, if you enjoy the chocolate and nuts, go for any method. You will get deep milk chocolate, some almond paste. But I wanted to get some apricots as well that I find in the cupping table, which is delicious. All right, and we are done at 3 minutes-ish. A little bit more than 3 minutes. As also one thing is that the April Brewer slows down towards the end. That's why I want to do in only 3 pours and be quite slow to avoid any channeling, any clogging. 3:10. All right. Let's move on to the degustation. You can definitely smell not as intense chocolate and nuts as you could if you used the classic recipe. A hint of dried stone fruit. It's not like super there, but it's really a hint that you can smell. But what is amazing about this aroma is that it goes in balance. You have here the chocolate, the nuts, and the apricot all in balance in a more delicate approach and delicate spectrum, but still balanced. And I wanted to show that you can have those more classic coffees or classic profiles and still extract the lightness, the brightness, the florality of that coffee if you want to. So if kind of you're a couple or you have roommates, some likes those chocolate and nuts, some love the floral and the fruits, you can always adapt to the circumstances. You feel a lot of those sweet, also sugarcane that starts coming in on the taste. You couldn't smell it much, but this coffee has chocolate, sugarcane, almond paste, and apricot. What comes in the first, the sugarcane, a little bit of those stone fruit like dried apricot, bit of almond, and the finish is like so chocolatey, so smooth and very lingering. Like as I'm talking, after 10-15 seconds, I can still taste this smooth and sweet finish. Texture is quite milky, not as buttery as it could have if we push it to 3 minutes and a half. But that's what I wanted through the April Brewer, is to have a slightly more delicate approach and balanced approach, right? So this is a very balanced cup of coffee where the texture is not extra thick, but it's on the medium-high range. Aftertaste, super lingering. This will pair so well with any baked goods, any chocolate. Acidity, traditionally with this coffee, it's quite mellow, quite in the lower hand. But with a stronger ratio, we managed to bump it a little bit, but not overshoot it. What I mean by that is we didn't want to under-extract the coffee. There's a risk, right? When you are increasing the ratio, lowering the water, for example. No, decreasing the ratio. Anyway, when you are making the coffee stronger, there's a risk of making it sour, right? That's what happened in a lot of espressos. And the way to kind of balance that is by changing the grind size. But here I still use a medium grind size. And it is to sort of balance out and bring up just a little bit of acidity so it remains sweet as it cools down. Acidity has this power to bring a kick, like spices in cooking, and elevates basically the flavors. How? Through the pressure through the pressure of the aromatic compounds, the volatile compounds. You can taste a nice round acidity. It's not mellow anymore, it's more like round and structured. No citric, it's very like a fruity acidity that is super balanced with the texture and the aroma. As it cools down, the coffee tastes a little bit more like dried apricot, almond paste. We are losing some sugar cane and gaining more chocolate. And as it cools down, what happened with this method and this recipe is that you're going to gain much more sweetness and bring more lingering finish through the milk chocolate, and the sugar cane will slowly decrease. So sugar cane goes from high to low. The dried apricot goes from medium high to low. Chocolate goes from medium to high, and the almond paste from kind of low to high. All right, that was about it. How we are brewing with the April Brewer. Remember, we used 15 grams of coffee for 225 grams of water, a 1:15 ratio at 92 degrees C. Our grind size is medium, 9 on the Ditting, 20, 22 on Baratza, and about 30 on the Commandante. And we do 3 equal pours of 75 grams at 40 seconds, 1 minute 20. So 0, 40 seconds, and 1 minute 20, ending around 3 minutes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And see you next time for more brewing.